Welcome 4-plussers and YouTubers to Battle Report 15, Tau vs. Dark Angels. I've started putting the army point values next to each army now since we're playing planetary empires and points are adjusted based on manufactories and the tile differential between the players. In this case, it was a 1,500 point game that we were agreed to, and we each got 50 bonus points, him for his manufactory and me for the negative tiles. I was down one tile. This is the first game of week 2. My northern Tau neighbor in the red territory has decided that it would benefit the greater good to take my command bastion, so he has declared an attack on my castle tile there. It's the green tile that you see that's underneath the star, and it's sort of towards the center. So he's attacking me, and I will be defending, and since he is attacking me, I'm going to play with the command bastion. We used random terrain and rolled heavy on one end and sparse on the other. So that's kind of, you can see on the Tau side there's a whole lot of terrain, and on the Space Marine side not so much. And that's okay. It's random terrain. That's how it works. The missions Crusade. We rolled hammer and anvil deployment. And since I didn't have a power station, Alex was getting 3+ to all his rolls, as my last opponent did. And I designed my list with this in mind. So you're going to see, some delayed entry of units and basically kind of a long-range standoff with any luck. There are 4 objectives. Each one's marked with a star. On the table, the Tau started with 2 teams of fire warriors, and On Shi, I believe is the way you say that, joined the top fire warrior squad there. Long Strike is deep in the jungle, can't really see him too well. And then there's a Missile Pod Crisis team. On the other side is another team of fire warriors, some Pathfinders, a Riptide. The Riptide has the heavy burst cannon. I've never seen one run with a heavy burst cannon, so this is my first time encountering it. So we'll see how that does. And then you can kind of see Long Strike poking his head out underneath the leaves. The Dark Angels have an Imperial Bastion, like I was talking about. My Devastators with the Warlord are inside, and my Warlord's a Librarian. I had 2 Librarians in this army, and they both rolled the same powers, the 1 power and the 6 power in Divination, so I traded the 6 power for Prescience. So I have Prescience, and I think it's called Foreboding, the full ballistic skill Overwatch power. I also have a Whirlwind. There's a small combat squad on that objective. And then at the top is a Land Raider Crusader with an assault squad inside. It's 7 assault marines with jump packs, and then the 2nd Librarians in there with them. Lastly, I've got a combat squad hiding over here on the other objective. Turn 1 Tau, the Fire Warriors work their way towards cover, the suits advance into difficult terrain. Long Strike shuffles for his Jinx save. The Ethereal gives everybody in the little 12-inch bubble feel no pain. The Riptide goes ahead and moves forward, and the Pathfinders will climb down that wall in the shooting phase. Opening shot of the game, Long Strike lives up to his name, blows up the Bastion. He explodes it with an 8, has a natural 6, and then +2 for AP1. So the Devastators and the Warlord inside take 46 strength 6 hits. Luckily for me, Alex rolls quad 1s for the number of hits, so only 1 Devastator is killed and they all pile out. The Riptide Nova charges his heavy burst cannon and ends up killing 5 more Devastators. And this is an interesting exercise in math. I think most people with the Riptides take the ion accelerator, I think it's called. And one of the things that's to be said, and this is actually a theory that I have, is that if you take more shots with lower quality, you are typically going to end up in the middle of the bell curve, and it's actually a more dependable weapon than, say, a high-quality single shot, because that high-quality single shot or the high-quality single template, you get 1 chance, and you can actually end up anywhere on the bell curve because of the the scatter, and just you only have 6 possible results on a d6. So theory of numbers, so far I actually like what I'm seeing from the heavy burst cannon. It's a neat weapon. I think it's pretty good so far. The Riptide goes ahead and jumps 11 inches forward in the assault phase. The missile crisis suits were out of range everything, and they go ahead and jump forward as well in the assault phase. and end up doing 1 wound to a suit, I believe, because of difficult terrain, or that may happen next turn. Dark Angels, turn 1. Land Raider pulls forward. We're just going to shoot our assault cannon at the Riptide and see if maybe we can get a couple lucky Wrens and do a few wounds to it. And, you know, if we get him down to maybe 2 wounds, it might be worth throwing the Assault Marines at him and hoping the Thunderhammer can finish him off. Everybody else is going to stay put. The Las cannons shoot at long strike, get 3 hits, but they don't manage to penetrate. The Whirlwind does manage to kill 3 Fire Warriors and pin them. The Land Raider didn't harm the Riptide. I didn't expect it to. It's kind of a trial, just, you know, let's see if I can get lucky and maybe do something about it. End of turn 1. My Devastators are a bit torn up, but you know, no need to panic. There's a lot of game left. Turn 2 Tau, the commander arrives as expected. The missile suits move forward, but I think they're either still out of range or they just don't have good line of sight to anything. The Riptide moves forward. In the shooting phase, the Riptide goes ahead and combines fire with a long strike, and they kill the remainder of the Devastators and put a wound on the Librarian. And that Librarian is my Warlord. The Commander's suit focuses on my scoring Marines, and they go ahead and go to ground, and 4 of them still end up dying. 1 does survive. The Riptide jumps away from the Land Raider, which would be basically positioned up in the upper right hand of this picture. And the suits move forward. Dark Angels turn 2. The Deathwing arrive on time, and so does a command squad, the one with the missile, or a combat squad, the one with the missile launcher. Everybody else comes back to go ahead and focus on those suits. We need to get them killed. Can't have them wandering around in our backfield. The Assault Marines dump out of the Land Raider, and the Librarian splits off from them. The Librarian joins the solo surviving Marine, and they both hide out of line of sight, assuming that we get the Commander's squad taken care of. Shooting phase comes. Everybody combines fire, except for the Whirlwind. At the suits, we kill 4 drones and 2 suits. Not a bad start at all. In the assault phase, I have the Librarian charge first and take the Overwatch, and he ends up fine. But he does miss the charge. And then I have the jump packs charge, and it was a long charge. Luckily, I did have my jump pack move still because I only got out of the Land Raider 6 inches. Because that's all you can do when you disembark. And we went ahead and used our jump to reroll our charge distance, and we made it in. In the ensuing combat, we hang 3 wounds on the Tau, 1 on a drone and 2 on the commander. And they do manage to kill a Marine back. The Tau break, and they are run down. The assault squad goes ahead and consolidates back towards the Land Raider. End of turn 2, I have Slay the Warlord. My opponent has First Blood for killing Devastators. And everything dangerous is now in front of my 2 objectives, so this is going to help me kind of focus where I need to be. Obviously, things are going well for me, but with the loss of the Devastators, I'm going to basically have to ignore the Riptide and Long Strike for the remainder of the game. Just kind of accept that they're going to be there and they're going to kill some stuff. I can always mitigate, you know, attempt to move to avoid them, but I'm not going to engage them. I'm not going to shoot anything at them. I'm not going to try and charge them. I'm essentially just going to try and stand off with them till the end of the game. Turn 3 Tau, the Riptide jumps towards the Land Raider. Everything else stays put. In the shooting phase, the Riptide plasters the Librarian that was standing out on his own. I knew it was a risk when I split him off, but I needed the jump packs to try and guarantee the charge. Long Strike does take a submunition shot at the Terminators, but he doesn't kill anybody. And the missile suits do manage to glance the Whirlwind. Dark Angels turn 3, the final combat squad arrives. Everything else moves to defend or hold objectives on my end of the table. The Assault Marines pile on the Land Raider, and we go full 12 inches and then another 6 inches flat out in the shooting phase. We need to get into the Fire Warriors and get them off an objective or 2 to secure the game. Right now we're both holding 2 objectives, so it's tie game. The Terminators shoot and kill a drone. The Whirlwind takes a shot at the Fire Warriors, but ends up scattering back onto the suits and kills the suit that had 1 wound left on it because of his difficult terrain failure. And it ends up pinning the suits, so that's a good thing, because next turn they're all going to be snap firing. The 2 combat squads run towards objectives, and then finally on turn 3, the sabotaged objective explodes and kills 4 fire warriors. Largest casualty so far this game for that squad. End of turn 3, it's still anyone's game. This is a great game. Turn 4 Tau, the Riptide moves to take shots at my scoring units in the ruins. The fire warriors collect themselves after the objective explosion and pile back onto it. The Tau managed to kill off my missile launcher in the combat squad. The Pathfinders do end up marker lighting up the Land Raider to take away the cover save, but Longstrike takes a shot at it, hits, but then fails to penetrate. He just rolls a 3 twice. The Riptide Nova charges his heavy burst cannon, but only manages to kill 2 Marines. I get some good saves, plus he's shooting through ruins, so I have cover for any Wrens. And then in the assault phase, he's going to actually bounce over to the side to get shots at everybody hiding in the ruins. Turn 4 Dark Angels, we do some reorganization. The Marines closest to the objective hug the Bastion to get a line of sight block from those suits that are going to come unpinned. The Terminators advance to actually get into range on those Fire Warriors that are on the closest exploding objective to me. And the unharmed combat squad sets up for a dash to either objective on turn 5. The Warlord Librarian actually changes squads from the 1-man to the 3-man that just got close enough to him. Safety in numbers, we hope. You can see the Riptide's foot there in the corner. He's awfully close. The Assault Marines get out of the Land Raider. And in the shooting phase, the Assault Marines do have 2 Flamers. And I didn't realize this, but Pathfinders apparently have a worse save than they used to. And the 2 Flamers killed all 8 of the Pathfinders that were there. The Land Raider shoots at Anshi's Fire War squad over in the center of the table and ends up killing enough of them to push them back far enough that they're not going to have rapid fire next turn on the Assault Marines. Turn 5 Tau, not a lot happens. The Fire Warriors closest to the Assault Squad have a line of sight block with that big piece of ruins there, so they don't shoot at them. The Anshi Squad does shoot at him, but there's only, I think, 5 or 6 Fire Warriors left, and they don't kill any Assault Marines. Longstrike manages to penetrate the Land Raider for a stun result. The Riptide, though, is where all the action is. He Nova charges his gun, kills the 3 Marines, gets nice and close, gets a charge on the Librarian, and kills him, granting Slay the Warlord. And now he also has Linebreaker. And he's contesting the objective that the 1 Marine is standing on. So that was a 4-point swing for the Tau right there on that turn, taking 3 points away from me and gaining 2 for him. It was a 5-point swing, so very good for Tau on turn 5. Turn 5 Dark Angels. Whirlwind moves to force the Riptide, if the game continues, to either charge the Whirlwind or to move the long way around and hopefully keep him out of combat for another turn. The 5-man combat squad goes to double up the objective furthest from the Riptide. Should the Riptide break loose, I believe that I can kill it with the Terminators if I need be. And remember, there's still 1 Marine standing on the objective next to the Riptide, so he has to kill that Marine before he can leave that objective. The Assault Squad tees up a huge Flamer shot and ends up killing 8 Fire Warriors, I believe. Either 7 or 8, you'll see in the next picture. They do stick around. The Terminators shoot a couple frags and 5 Stormbolters at the Fire Warriors in the ruins here, and they go to ground, and I managed to kill 4 out of the 5. The 1 guy sticks around, and he's still close enough to hold the objective. The ensuing assault is a draw. Nobody dies. The Tau made all their armor saves, and then the Marines made all theirs, and then the Thunderhammer guy jumps in and rolls 2 1s to hit. So they just stick around in combat. End of turn 5. The score is 5 to 6 in favor of the Tau. I have Linebreaker Slay the Warlord and one objective for 5 points. The Tau have Linebreaker Slay the Warlord First Blood and one objective for 6 points. So we roll. Luckily, the game continues. Night Fight arrives turn 6. The Tau goes straight to their shooting phase. The Riptide fails his Nova charge but still manages to kill 2 Marines with the burst cannon. A submunitions round from Long Strike kills a Terminator. The missile suits manage to kill another Marine as well. In close combat, the Assault Marines kill 3 Fire Warriors and lose one of their own. But they break them nonetheless and run them down and then consolidate. Dark Angels turn 6. The Marines move up to get as many shots as possible on the lone Fire Warrior, holding the exploding objective. The game's going to be won or lost on his back. Now that it's night, he's got a 2+ cover save too when he's gone to ground. In the shooting phase, the Terminators inflict 5 wounds on him, and he rolls a single one and dies. The greedy Assault Marines see an opportunity to get an ethereal kill and go for it. The Flamers kill 3 and put 2 wounds on Anshi, leaving only the ethereal and his 2 buddies. I charge in thinking this is going to be an easy combat. It's Tau. Not so. In close combat, Sarge accepts a challenge, and he's killed by the ethereal Anshi in the challenge, and the other Assault Marines don't do any wounds. The Assault Marines do flee, but they still stay within Linebreaker, and the game does end on our final die roll. Final score is 5 to 3. Dark Angels win. I have an objective, Slay the Warlord and Linebreaker. Alex has Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, and First Blood. So, very good game, very close. We were both in it all the way to the end. As you saw, if it ends turn 5, he wins. If it ends turn 6, I win. So, really good game. While the Tau were attempting to conquer my command bastion, I sent my special forces behind their lines and managed to take over their power stations. So, boom, let there be light. I will still probably be giving up a bonus here and there for power, but at least it won't be a +3 anymore. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a little bit longer battle report, but anyhow, thanks Alex for a very challenging and well-fought game. Look forward to playing you again in the future. Thank you, everyone. Look for more battle reports in the future.